All right, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle a question that I think every single dog owner has asked themselves at some point. It seems so simple, but the answer has some surprisingly high stakes. Can my dog eat this apple? Let's find out. You know the scene, right? You're sitting there, you bite into a nice, crisp, juicy apple, and suddenly you feel it. You've got a pair of those big, hopeful puppy dog eyes just staring you down. That crunching sound is like a magnet for them. So, the real question is it okay to give in and share a piece?
And the answer is yes, absolutely. Dogs can totally eat apples. But, and you really got to pay attention to this part, there's a catch. It's all about how you prepare it. Because if you get it wrong, you can turn a super healthy treat into a real hazard. So let's break down how to get it right.
First things first, let's talk about all the good stuff. I mean, why should we even bother sharing our apples with them in the first place? Well, it turns out an apple isn't just a tasty snack for your dog, it's a little powerhouse of health benefits. I mean, just take a look at what's packed inside this one simple fruit. You've got vitamins A, C, and K, which are all fantastic for your dog's immune system. They're loaded with fiber, which is great for their digestion. Plus, they're low in calories and fat, making them a perfect treat, especially for older dogs or pups who need to watch their weight. And here's a little bonus that I just love. That satisfying crunch your dog enjoys so much, it's not just for fun. The texture of the apple actually helps scrape plaque off their teeth and can even make their breath a little fresher. So it's kind of like a treat and a toothbrush all rolled into one. How cool is that? Okay, so apples sound like the perfect treat, right? Well, this is where we need to get a little serious. Because inside that healthy snack, there are some hidden risks. Risks that can be genuinely dangerous if you don't know what you're looking for. So here it is, maybe the most important takeaway of this whole thing. The flesh of the apple and the skin, as long as you wash it, are perfectly safe and good for your dog. But the danger zones, that's the core, the stem, and especially the seeds. You have to make sure these parts are gone completely. So you might be wondering, why are the seeds so bad? Well, it all comes down to this one compound called amygdalin. When a dog chews or digests apple seeds, this amygdalin releases a tiny amount of cyanide. And as we all know, cyanide is a poison that basically stops cells from being able to use oxygen properly. Now, before you start to panic thinking about that one time your dog grabbed a fallen slice from the floor, let's put this all into perspective. For a medium-sized dog to get a fatal dose, they'd have to eat and thoroughly chew the seeds from around 200 apples. So an accidental seed or two isn't likely to cause a disaster, but the risk is still there, so the best policy is just to avoid them altogether. And it's not just about the seeds. That tough apple core and the stem, those are major choking hazards. And if you have an apple tree in your yard, watch out for rotten apples on the ground. They can ferment and actually cause alcohol poisoning. And you have to be super careful with human apple products. Applesauce often has a sweetener called xylitol, which is extremely toxic to dogs. And things like apple pie can contain nutmeg, another big no-no. I really love this analogy because it just sums it all up perfectly. A properly prepared apple slice is like giving your dog a little gift, a vitamin and a toothbrush in one. But leaving the core and seeds in, that's like handing them that gift with the safety pin still in. It's our job to make it safe before we share it. All right, so you ready to share? How do you do it the right way every single time? Let's walk through the exact foolproof protocol for preparing a safe apple slice for your best friend. Honestly, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, wash the apple really, really well. You want to get any pesticides off the skin. Step 2, and this is the big one, it's non-negotiable. Completely remove the entire core and the stem. And step 3, just slice up the good parts into bite-sized pieces that are right for your dog's size so they won't choke. That's it. Okay, so now we know how to prepare it, but how much is okay? Because even with super healthy treats, too much of a good thing can be, well, not so good. And that brings us to the golden rule for pretty much all dog treats. So a great way to think about your dog's daily food intake is like this. 90% of their calories should come from their main balanced dog food. That's their core nutrition. That leaves just 10% for everything else, for all the treats, the extras, and yep, that includes healthy stuff like apple slices. So what does that actually look like? Well, for a tiny little dog, maybe 1 or 2 small pieces is plenty. A medium-sized dog could have 3 or 4 pieces, and a big ol' large dog could probably have 4 or 5. Sticking to these guidelines, just make sure you're giving them a treat, not messing up their whole diet.
All right, before we wrap this up, let's do a quick fire round to tackle some of the other common questions people have about dogs and apples. Can puppies have apples? Yes, just introduce it slowly and in super tiny pieces. What about applesauce? Only, and I mean only, if it is 100% plain, unsweetened applesauce. You have to read that label and make sure there's no xylitol. Dried apples? Yeah, but they have a lot of concentrated sugar, so keep the portion really small. And finally, what about green apples? Go for it. All varieties of apple are safe.
So at the end of the day, here's the bottom line. An apple can be one of the best, healthiest treats you can give your dog, but it all comes down to proper preparation. You've got to remove the dangerous parts first, and that kind of makes you think, doesn't it? Now that you know the hidden rules for apples, what other healthy human foods that you share could be hiding secrets of their own? It's always worth checking. Stay curious and keep those pups safe.